The world of running is broad, intense, and exciting, where a new road might bring you to new discoveries and challenges. Hey gang, my name is Tiffany Caracassis from WatchMojo.com. Today I'll ask Adrian Piggott, a running coach, on what it takes to become a better runner. So Adrian, how should a beginner start running? What are the basics?
You really have to start with good footwear. It's important to be wearing the right shoes. And I highly recommend going to a running specialty shop to buy your shoes. Set realistic goals when you're starting out, so don't try to run a 10K your first day out. If you can find a running buddy, that is a great way to get started. Most of us do better when we have someone to push us along on those days when we'd rather stay home or stay in bed.
What are the best running surfaces?
I always say softer surfaces are better. They're easier on your joints, and I find that you'll find over time you get less fatigue. Surfaces that are not too busy, because that way you don't have to do as much direction changes and it's easier on your joints. After that, if you're a city runner, the asphalt. Run on the dark stuff, not on the light stuff, because the cement is pretty unforgiving.
Should a beginner focus more on distance or time?
What's most important is to focus on time when you're starting out. Try to set a goal of running at least 20 minutes at a time. Run 1 minute and walk 1 minute, and then extend that to running 2 minutes and walking 1 minute, and keep increasing the amount of time you run and reducing the time you walk, and that'll be a good way to build up your distance, but stick to time when you're starting out.
Talk to us about running gear and accessories.
Avoid cotton, because cotton chafes. So a lot of the new synthetic materials are fantastic for running. For me, the compression short is my favorite thing to run in. There are also the traditional running shorts, which are those light nylon material. Be careful with your socks, because people tend to get a lot of blisters. Just try to ensure that what you get fits you well and you're comfortable in it, because as you increase your distance, things that felt okay at 5K may really be bothering you at 15K.
How about nutrition? What should we eat before going for a good run?
That's actually an interesting thing, because a lot of that comes down to experience. I know some runners who can't eat anything. I'm one of those people that a banana before a long run really holds me. Eat at least an hour and a half to 2 hours before you run to avoid upsetting your stomach.
What about cramps?
There are actually two kinds of cramps that runners typically get. One of them is from the digestion, the issues of when you ate and what your body can handle during a run. But the other kind of cramp that runners get a lot is caused by their liver dropping during the cadence of running. Because your liver is your heaviest organ, it's on your right side, and as your foot lands, your liver drops. But if you're exhaling at the same time, the difference between the contraction of your diaphragm and your liver dropping is often what causes that whole area to go into spasm, and that's the cramp that you feel. It's also important to remember that you have to hydrate before you run, hydrate after you run. What we recommend is just sip all day. Keep a bottle of water going all day long, and that will help you when you are running not to get too dehydrated.
Any tips on breathing?
The first thing I tell everyone to do is just relax and breathe, because a lot of people start to hyperventilate from the very beginning. Just take your time and find a breathing pattern that works well for you. I breathe what I call every third step. So I will breathe, do 1-2 steps, and then breathe on the other side, and that way it's a balanced breathing with my steps and I don't get as many cramps.
How about warming up, cooling down, and stretches?
There are a lot of different ways you can go about that. Some people just start off running at a slower pace to get their bodies warmed up, and then increase the pace as they're feeling more and more limber and warmed up. At the end of a run, I always recommend just tapering your pace a little, and then ending maybe with a walk of a few hundred meters, stretching it out, getting some water. If you have to choose, always stretch after you run, when the soft tissues are all the most warmed up, so you're less likely to get injured and less likely to find that you're sore the next day. Stretching after the run definitely helps with that.
Thank you so much, Adrian.
Thank you, Tiffany.